Hey VC, it's Ron. Thanks for joining me. I got some recent finds today. I've got a little bit of 80s stuff and I got a few 45s to show. I don't have a whole lot of recent finds. I think I'm going to try and cut back a little bit on purchases. You know, I got bills to pay, so you know how that is. I'm going to have to take care of that first. Either that or not eat anything. I think I'd rather eat. So I got a few things to show. I got, this is what's playing right now, Charles Lloyd. And this is a 1972 jazz album. And this is really good. It's mostly instrumental. It does have one track that has vocals. Comes with an inner sleeve. And this has got Roger McGuinn plays 12 string on a couple of songs, and the Beach Boys do some backing vocals on the opening track. I'm not really into jazz all that much. I don't know it, but if I come across something, you know, that I like, I'll definitely hang on to it. So I liked this. So yeah, it's mainly instrumental, but the opening track does have some vocals. This is Christmas. This is their first album on Big Beat, 1986. And I had never heard this album before, but I do remember this. I mean, how can you forget that album cover? I remember it quite well. And they were a Boston band, and they only had a few albums. They didn't really catch on. This album kind of came and went real quickly because there was no promotion. It's kind of a mixture of, it's got that 80s big beat, and then it's got sort of folky pop psych elements, alternative, real quirky sound, male female lead vocals. It starts out kind of slow, but then it starts kicking in, and the more you get into the album, it keeps getting better and better and better. I've listened to it a couple of times, and I like it. It's definitely not an essential album, but I think it's an enjoyable one that has a unique sound. This is Blue Nile, and this is their first album from 1983, and they were from Glasgow, Scotland, and this is on A&M, and I picked this up in a thrift store as well, and I don't remember these guys, but I like this album, so if you see it, grab it. It's kind of got that little bit of a techno beat, real gloomy, neo-psychedelic, real cool. They only had like a few albums in like 20 years, and they haven't done anything since '04. So yeah, I don't know what's up with them, but definitely a good one to grab. Now, I used to be really into this band back in the 80s. It's the Comsat Angels. This is the album Sleep No More from 1981. I used to have all their stuff and I got rid of it. I hung on to this one because I just love this album so much. It's on the UK Polydor, and it's real gloomy, neo-psychedelic, real dark. Just an awesome album. Definitely one to have. Here's a Devo bootleg, and it's Sing If You're Glad to Be Devo. Blank labels. It's on the Amazing Corny Phone label, and it's live. Couple of different sources, live in San Francisco and live in Cleveland, Ohio. Real good quality. I think this was a radio show, and I think it's live. I think it's live '78. Real cool. Here's another bootleg. This is Echo and the Bunnymen, live in Rome, 1984. This has a glossy cover and blank labels. There's the track listing. It has Angels and Devils on it live, which is pretty cool because that was a non-album B-side in the UK. Okay, now I'm going to show my Neil Young Trans album collection. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is a promotional copy, and it's on the Quiet 2 Virgin Vinyl, and it's got the designated promo stamp, and it's got the original track listing with If You've Got Love, which was later removed. And then this is a stock copy that is still in the shrink. And it has a disclaimer sticker on the back that states that the cover has a erroneous track listing. So this cover still has the track If You Got Love. And then this version has If You Got Love removed. And actually these are harder to find than the original first pressings. And here's the inner sleeve. And then this is a Dutch pressing. And this has a longer version of Like a Inca on it. It's like over a minute longer. And then it has a little bit longer version of Transformer Man, I think. Yeah, it's like a few seconds, like maybe 5 seconds longer. And then if you get, this album was not originally released on CD. It wasn't released on CD until like 1998, and that wasn't even in the States. It was released in Europe. I have an import copy of this on CD that has the longer version of Like an Inca, and it's got a remix version of Transformer Man, and it also has well, there's one other track on there that's different too. I can't remember offhand what that is. Sorry, but so yeah, this album. This is actually Neil Young's favorite album in all the works that he's done. I've read information on that this is his favorite. It was basically done as a reflection of him trying to communicate with his son Ben, who has cerebral palsy, and that's why it has the vocoder vocals. Neil was trying to express himself, saying, yeah, I'm talking to you guys, but you're not going to be able to quite understand what I'm saying. That's what he felt like he was going through with his son Ben. This was kind of, probably a lot of you guys are familiar with this album. It wasn't a very well-reviewed album when it came out. It had a lot of mixed reviews, but I like it. He was kind of going into the Kraftwerk techno vibe on this album. And it has Bruce Palmer, who was in the Buffalo Springfield on this album, and it also has Nils Lofgren, and as well as the usual players. And yeah, pretty cool album. And then this is a bootleg of the Trans tour in Europe. This is live in Sweden. This is a 1983 Swedish bootleg. And really nice package here. Great pictures, good quality. Just really cool. And nice labels. It's called Like a Hurricane. It's on Groovy Records. Live in Sweden, October 8th, 1982. I listened to this last night, so I thought I would show it. This is Gandharva, Beaver and Krause, and they were pioneers in Moog synthesizers. This is a 1971 album, beautiful cover. I don't really care for side 1 too much, but I really like side 2. It was recorded live in San Francisco in that cathedral there. There's an aerial shot there. And it was filmed as well for promotional television purposes. And it's sort of jazz trance music. It's all instrumental on side 2. Very, very cool, atmospheric, laid back music. There's a lot of famous jazz musicians that play on this album, as well as Michael Bloomfield and Ronnie Montrose. So yeah, it's on the Green Warner Brothers label. This is a recent pickup. This is Michelangelo, and I was playing this in the background of my previous video, Gems 55, and I'll get a shot of the hype sticker. It's Massachusetts. It was originally small local pressing of 500 copies, kind of a do-it-yourself job by Michelangelo. He wrote, played most of the instruments except for the drums, and he recorded over several months. And I like it. It gets a really good review at the Acid Archive, calling it the top 10 local psych releases. I think it could have been better with a little bit more psychedelic guitar on it than what it has. It's on Anthology label and limited edition of 1,500 copies, high quality pressing. And Michelangelo did the liner notes. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I'd call it essential. It's essential if you're into that sort of thing where you really want these small local pressings. It's definitely essential, but it's really good. I mean, I like it, but it's not something I would want to play a lot. Okay, I finally got Country Joe and the Fish, I Feel Like I'm Fixing to Die stereo. And I got it with the Fish poster. I mean, this thing, I have been wanting this for so long. This is insane. Yeah, a lot of people cut these things up, so they're kind of hard to find. So this doesn't have, this is like a near met poster, no pinholes, no tape, nothing like that. And real cool psychedelic poster. You would actually cut this poster up to play the game. The game pieces are down at the bottom. And it has references to drugs on this poster. Score one joint. And I think it mentions LSD on this too, somewhere. I don't see it offhand. So yeah, that was cool to finally get that. And here's the difference between the stereo cover and the mono cover. As you can see, it's got a little more of the artwork down at the bottom on the mono. The time edits are different between the mono and stereo as well. Only slightly, not as drastic as on their first album. This is a recent pickup. It's Frost, Eyes of Love, Through the Eyes of Love. And yeah, I picked it up because it was cheap. And I really like this album. I'd never heard these guys before. They were out of Detroit. And they had Dick Wagner in the band. And really good album. I can't say it's 100% excellent. There's a couple of weak tracks, but for the most part, it's really cool heavy rock. Good hooks, good riffs. Really cool. I want to get all their albums actually. They only had a handful of them, and I definitely want to get a better copy of this. Okay, then I got Kinks live at Kelvin Hall, and look at that cover. This is an original German copy with the original price tag from Germany on the cover. It says oh, I can't remember what it says. I looked it up. Something about being a specially priced album. And then it's got 9.8 Deutschmarks, and I checked, and one Deutschmark in 1968 was equivalent to $3.99. So this was just under $4 in American money, and it's on the High label stereo copy. And there's a whole Wikipedia on this album. It's quite interesting to read. And yeah, it didn't sell. No matter where it was released, it did not sell. It was met with mixed reviews. Stereos sound a lot better, or the monos sound a lot better than the stereos. I guess this was doctored up a little bit with some overdubs and audience tape loops and that kind of thing. They tried to enhance it. Kind of a VG Plus copy, but you know, I got it at a good price and it sounds really good, so that's the most important thing. Killer cover, hard to find. I'm going to show a few Kinks 45s now. I just picked this up. It's a US single of Mr. Pleasant, 1967, and it's got Harry Rag on the flip side. And Harry Rag originally appeared on this 45, and then months later, like maybe 5 months later, it appeared on the Something Else album. Mr. Pleasant only stayed on the 45 until the Kinks Chronicles album came out. Pretty nice clean copy of this too. These did not sell in the United States. They sold in Europe. In some countries it's actually like a top 10 hit, but in the States, I think this got to about 80 or something like that, if I remember right. Here's a 1977 45. The Kinks' Father Christmas. It's on Arista. These didn't sell all that well. The flip side has got Prince of the Punks. Really cool Kinks Christmas record. It rocks. And the last one I'm going to show is the Kinks Misfit record. This is a promotional only record. I probably only released in the United States. I don't know for sure, but most likely. It's a square record in a round cardboard sleeve. Promotional only. And look at the flip. The label is all off center, and it's not supposed to be that way. That's an error. So the record label actually is clear over into the grooves of the second song on side 2. Yeah, side 2. So it won't even play all the way through. So this is like a true Misfit record. And I bought this a long time ago here locally. I paid $15 for it. And I looked online a while ago, and they still go for about $15. Hard to believe, but that's what they go for. But I'll tell you what, I think I could get more for this copy because it's an error. So, I mean, this is a true misfit. Alright guys, that's it. I'm done. Catch you next time.